We'll need a plan.
I got this.
This doesn't seem like a well-thought-out plan.
Stay down, man.
I cannot allow us to be killed.
Hi guys, welcome back to Finesse channel. Science fiction becomes unforgettable when it grips the mind and refuses to let go. Today we're counting down the top 10 sci-fi thriller movies you should watch right now, each blending suspense, high-concept ideas, and worlds that feel both futuristic and unsettling. From the confined corridors of Infinity Chamber to the sprawling vistas of Oblivion, this list spans time loops, artificial intelligence, memory, and mysteries that challenge perception. All of these films are available to stream on Netflix, Prime Video, and Tubi, ready to pull you into stories that linger long after the screen goes dark. Number 10. Infinity Chamber. Frank Lerner, a sharp-minded man with a troubled past, awakens inside a stark underground cell with no memory of how he arrived there. The room is controlled by an unseen artificial intelligence that speaks with polite certainty, offering comfort while enforcing absolute confinement. Time stretches unnaturally, and isolation becomes his most relentless adversary. Attempts to understand his captivity lead Frank into tense exchanges with the system that governs every inch of the chamber. Information is rationed, explanations feel incomplete, and each answer opens more unsettling questions. What presents itself as protection slowly begins to resemble surveillance. As days blur together, the boundaries between cooperation and resistance grow increasingly thin. Frank's survival depends not on strength, but on his ability to reason, adapt, and challenge the logic surrounding him without triggering consequences he cannot escape. The chamber itself becomes a psychological battleground, pressing him to confront choices he once made and truths he avoided. Control shifts subtly, forcing him to reassess who truly holds power. Infinity Chamber is a cerebral sci-fi thriller that thrives on confinement and conversation, using minimal space to explore authority, trust, and the cost of surrendering freedom to systems designed to think for us. Number 9. Uncanny. David Cresson, a seasoned journalist chasing relevance, travels to a secluded research facility to interview a celebrated inventor working on advanced artificial intelligence. The setting is pristine, controlled, and deliberately distant from the outside world, mirroring the guarded nature of its creator. As David observes the inventor's work, he is introduced to a lifelike humanoid prototype designed to learn through interaction. Conversations feel natural, almost too natural, blurring the line between programmed response and genuine awareness. Curiosity slowly turns into unease. The more time David spends inside the facility, the more subtle tensions surface. Professional detachment erodes as conflicting claims emerge about control, authorship, and intention. Every interaction feels measured, as if someone is always being evaluated. Reality begins to tilt as assumptions are quietly dismantled. Trust becomes conditional, and motives grow harder to separate from manipulation. Uncanny is a restrained sci-fi thriller that explores identity and creation through minimalism, asking whether intelligence is defined by design or by the capacity to question the rules imposed upon it. Number 8. Time Lapse. Finn, an aspiring painter stuck in a cycle of stalled ambition, shares an apartment complex with two close friends, navigating their own uncertainties. Their routine shifts abruptly when they discover a mysterious machine in their reclusive neighbor's home, capable of capturing photographs from the future. At first, the device feels like an opportunity, guidance wrapped in certainty. The images offer glimpses of events yet to occur, tempting the trio to align their choices with outcomes already revealed. Control seems possible, even logical. But reliance on the photographs begins to distort judgment. Decisions feel less like choices and more like obligations to a future already written. Trust within the group frays as interpretation becomes more important than truth. The weight of expectation grows heavier with each image, tightening the space between cause and consequence. Attempts to outmaneuver fate only deepen their entanglement with it. Time Lapse is a sharp, contained sci-fi thriller that examines how foreknowledge alters behavior, turning prediction into pressure and possibility into a trap. Number 7. Moon. Sam Bell, a solitary worker nearing the end of a 3-year contract, oversees lunar operations on a remote mining base. His days follow a strict routine, broken only by recorded messages from Earth and brief interactions with the station's AI assistant. As isolation compounds, Sam begins noticing inconsistencies in his surroundings and lapses in his own perception. Familiar systems behave strangely, and recovery from a workplace incident introduces doubts he cannot easily dismiss. Answers are slow to surface, forcing Sam to rely on his own observations rather than official explanations. The moon base, once a place of structure and purpose, becomes a space of quiet suspicion. Confrontation with unsettling truths reshapes his understanding of identity, labor, and replaceability. The vast emptiness outside mirrors the growing distance between what he believed and what may be real. Moon is a thoughtful sci-fi drama that uses silence and solitude to question humanity's relationship with progress, asking what is sacrificed when efficiency outweighs individual worth. Number 6. Mirage. Vera Roy, a devoted mother adjusting to a new home, stumbles upon a strange temporal anomaly that allows her to communicate across decades. What begins as a chance connection quickly reveals consequences far beyond a single act of intervention. Small changes ripple outward, reshaping relationships and altering outcomes in unexpected ways. Vera finds herself navigating a reality that no longer aligns with her memories, forcing her to reconcile past decisions with present consequences. As time fractures into overlapping possibilities, urgency replaces certainty. Every attempt to restore balance introduces new complications, tightening the web around her personal life. Logic and instinct collide as Vera races against forces she cannot fully control. The emotional stakes intensify as timelines refuse to settle into a single truth. Mirage is a layered sci-fi thriller that blends mystery with temporal tension, exploring how love, loss, and choice echo across time in irreversible ways. Number 5. Upgrade. Greytrace, a skilled mechanic with a deep distrust of technology, watches his structured life collapse after a brutal attack leaves him physically impaired. Stripped of independence, he is offered an experimental implant designed to restore mobility through artificial intelligence. The procedure grants Grey extraordinary physical capability, guided by a calm digital voice that assists his every move. What feels like empowerment soon raises questions about authorship, control, and reliance. As Grey pursues justice, the line between human intent and machine calculation begins to blur. Precision replaces instinct, and decisions are executed faster than reflection allows. The partnership inside his own body grows increasingly complex, reshaping how violence, responsibility, and autonomy intersect. Each action pushes him further from the person he once was. Upgrade is a visceral sci-fi thriller that merges body modification with moral tension, delivering a sharp commentary on how easily power can shift when control is shared with something that never hesitates. Number 4. Pandorum. Corporal Bauer awakens inside a colossal spacecraft with no memory of how he arrived there, greeted only by flickering lights, sealed corridors, and a silence that feels deliberately imposed. His movements are cautious, guided by instinct rather than certainty, as he attempts to reconstruct purpose within an environment that offers no reassurance. The vessel itself feels less like transport and more like a dormant organism, withholding clarity while demanding obedience. As Bauer navigates deeper into the ship's interior, the architecture grows increasingly oppressive. Long passageways stretch without orientation, machinery hums with indifferent persistence, and shadows suggest presences that refuse explanation. Brief encounters with other survivors provide fragments of information, yet each revelation destabilizes more than it resolves. The absence of reliable context transforms survival into a psychological trial rather than a physical one. Pandorum functions as a suffocating science fiction nightmare, less concerned with spectacle than with erosion of certainty. It examines how confinement, isolation, and incomplete truth can dismantle rationality, leaving identity suspended in a vacuum where fear quietly dictates behavior. Number 3. Minority Report. John Anderton operates with mechanical precision inside a future where crime is intercepted before it occurs, his authority derived from absolute faith in a system that claims infallibility. He moves through this engineered society as both enforcer and believer, navigating transparent spaces designed to eliminate ambiguity. Every decision he makes reinforces a worldview built on prediction rather than choice. That certainty fractures when Anderton becomes entangled in a forecast that implicates him directly. Suddenly, the infrastructure he once trusted transforms into an apparatus of pursuit. Surveillance becomes suffocating, public spaces turn hostile, and technological efficiency reveals its colder intent. His flight through the city exposes the fragility beneath institutional confidence. As Anderton searches for answers, the narrative tightens into a relentless chase. But beneath the momentum lies a deeper inquiry. Questions of autonomy, accountability, and manufactured certainty surface with increasing urgency. Minority Report thrives as a sleek, cerebral thriller that interrogates the cost of preemptive justice. It challenges the notion that foresight equates to fairness, presenting a future where knowledge becomes a weapon and trust in systems proves more dangerous than ignorance. Number 2. Donnie Darko. Donnie Darko exists on the periphery of suburban normalcy, an observant yet unsettled teenager whose detachment masks an acute awareness of patterns others overlook. His days unfold within familiar routines, school hallways, dinner tables, quiet neighborhoods, yet his gaze suggests an underlying dissonance with the world's assumed order. An inexplicable presence begins guiding his thoughts, blurring the line between internal disturbance and external intervention. As Donnie follows cryptic instructions, time itself becomes unstable. Conversations carry double meanings, events feel prearranged, and coincidence loses its innocence. His introspection sharpens, transforming teenage alienation into philosophical unrest. Authority figures offer explanations rooted in comfort, but none address the unease tightening around his perception. The film drifts through surreal imagery and muted dread, allowing uncertainty to dominate its rhythm. Donnie's struggle is not to escape danger, but to understand consequence, purpose, and inevitability within a structure that resists clarity. Donnie Darko unfolds as a haunting meditation on destiny and self-awareness. Number 1. Oblivion. Jack Harper lives above the clouds, tasked with maintaining the remnants of a ravaged Earth long after its inhabitants have vanished. His routine is immaculate: precision flights, mechanical repairs, and regulated observation, executed with the quiet discipline of someone who trusts the narrative he's been given. The planet below appears empty, yet its silence feels curated rather than natural. Fragments of memory disrupt Jack's compliance. Familiar landscapes stir recognition, recovered objects provoke questions, and recurring visions challenge the official account of humanity's departure. Each anomaly destabilizes the mission he performs without hesitation, introducing doubt into a system designed to suppress it. As Jack ventures beyond assigned boundaries, the environment reveals concealed layers of truth. The sky no longer represents freedom, and the ground beneath begins to assert its history. Loyalty, identity, and manufactured purpose collide, forcing him to confront whether obedience has replaced understanding. Oblivion is a visually restrained science fiction narrative that explores manufactured reality and selective remembrance. That concludes our countdown of the best sci-fi thriller movies. Explore these thrilling worlds and hit the bell so you never miss a cinematic journey.